It's Just Our Opinion podcast show starts it.
T-minus 4 minutes. T-minus 3 minutes. T-minus 2 minutes. T-minus 1 minute. T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
check 1 2 1 2. Yes, your boy Chaos. And this Just Our Opinion podcast, broadcasting live and direct in the good DFW area. You already know. To get this thing going tonight, you know what I'm saying? Our culture, our music on Earth, Wind, and Fire. The music, the groups, and our influences of their musical geniuses. Yes, sir. You already know, man. We're going in on the music side of the game, real music, back at a time where folks really appreciated good genres of music, you know what I'm saying? From gospel, blues, R&B, rock and roll, disco, hip hop, real hip hop at that. But anyway, we got to bring my brother and partner in crime in the scene, the Lion Tribe himself. Yo, what up, bro? Dark Prince in the Hills. What up, man?
Shalom, family. Shalom, everybody. Hope everybody's weekend's been going good so far. Nobody's got no type of bad news. Yeah. Let's get to it.
Yeah, seems like everything's all in all. So far, so good from what I see. I looked back down and down in Mississippi, down in Hollandale, they had a little get together, a little Easter get together. Everybody everybody seems to be on code pretty good, which is a good thing.
Oh, okay. It seems like a few people up this way trying to do the same. I don't know what. Well, then again, though, it's mostly Mexican and white folks that I'm seeing. They my neighbors. But it looks like everybody trying to do something with their little family and loved ones also. In the spirit of unity and togetherness and family, I'm glad to see people still got some semblance of that going.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, we live and direct on TikTok as well right now. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully TikTok will keep up. If we say certain things and they kick us off, hey, it is what it is. We're going to keep rolling on the other end. I tell you on TikTok saying you got to say certain things because it kind of rattle the bones in the valley. Well, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know about you, bro. I'm just so sick and tired of this fake shit going on out here. It's ridiculous.
I don't pay attention to it.
Well, anyway, bro. You got anything on the news you want to say? Before we get started on the topic tonight.
No.
Because I ain't gonna go in on that Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf stuff. I hadn't had enough of that. Yeah, because I didn't know it a distraction. I keep saying it. I keep telling folks over and over again. That's all it is a distraction.
I definitely believe it is.
Oh yeah, most definitely it is. Ain't no other way around it. I mean, because like I said, we was once upon a time we was talking about some real shit, and then all of a sudden it turns into, a dividing mechanism because of two young men having a dispute. Teenagers at that. These ain't no grown men. These are little kids. These are youngsters. They could have dealt with that, on a local level instead of letting the media put it out there in the nationwide standpoint like that. But that because the media is, the architect of the synagogue of state, Satan anyway. They're designed to keep folks deaf, dumb, and blind at every cost. It's called propaganda for the proper gooses.
Right.
Hey, Nikki. She said she's going live tomorrow. All right. Shout out to Nikki, you know what I'm saying? They shut her down last Friday because a so-called white supremacist come on her page calling us all kind of names, bro. I just told him let him stay on there, let him get it off his chest. That don't hurt, that don't bother us no more. I like, cause that's easy to say all this shit, then you hiding behind letters and and eggs and stuff. You don't want to show your face because you're scared. Somebody might roll up on you. That's coward. That's where the cowards should come from. From their lineage.
For sure.
You know, they the recessive-minded hybrid motherfuckers that are scared of society. Because that's like a gopher. The gopher come out and see his shadow, he go right back in the hole because he's scared as hell. That's how they are.
So say what they do with he get blocked or what? What happened with him?
They shut her down. Shut her page down.
Shut her down?
Yeah. Cause he almost like he reported it because we was going in on his ass.
What was the topic on?
No, she was talking about the situation with Austin, Metcalf, and Carmelo Anthony and stuff. No, she was talking about something else that shooting that you were telling me about in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And then she was basically comparing, like, they were so much into the situation here in Texas than they were in the situation in Florida.
Okay.
And the guy came on there and he just going, just rambling, Bob, just talking crazy, trying to get everybody out of character and going off on him and stuff. And he see that we wasn't really, on that level like it was back in the day. A lot of folks be hurting, trying to go through the TV or the internet or whatever to try to get to them. It's like, we ain't paying no attention to that stupid ass shit no more. We just gonna give you what you asked for. And he felt hurt. And most likely probably reported her page and they had her shut down.
Ain't that something?
Yeah. Coward. That's all. Cowards.
The whole thing about them red flag and saying this, that, and the third, and you can't that is all coward shit. That's my whole deal with it. That's why I'm like, man, go ahead.
Anyway, we're gonna move right along, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go into the topic tonight. Our culture, our music, Earth, Wind, and Fire. The elements of Earth, Wind, and Fire. The music, the group, and our influence on their music, at hand, you know what I'm saying? One thing I can tell you about that group was highly spiritual, very spiritual. And a lot of folks don't really understand that or know that, how powerful their music was to our culture, And you can look at a lot of the albums, they'll even have a picture of Horus, that the bird, the eagle, whatever you want to call it, you know what I'm saying? Or they'll have a pyramid, Egypt or something. And a lot of that stuff was mainly highly spiritual, to the point where the music itself had a lot of messages in it that kept us kind of cool, calm, and collective in a real, high frequency. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they had a song, one of the most popular songs my brother, Dr. Prince, always said he loved, was called September. And a lot of folks don't realize most people in this country were born in September. And it's like, that was like very important month. Because like I said, I got a lot of folks in my family that were born in September. A lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, including my son, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, the leader of the group, Maurice White, who was born in Memphis, Tennessee, you know what I'm saying? He started the group, after he left Memphis, and went to Chicago. And, him and his brother, Verdine White, they all got together with a couple of friends they met around the way, and all of them started this group. And it ended up being a nice, big old band, you know what I'm saying, where they was basically, mixing a lot of percussion sounds from drums, horns, you know what I'm saying, guitar, and bass and stuff like that. You know, when they were playing instruments at its best at that time. You know what I'm saying? There wasn't no drum machines. It wasn't no somebody just taking on a computer to make a sound. They was literally doing this stuff manually with instruments. You know.
Man, I just noticed something. I'm about to talk to you on that. Go ahead, though.
Oh, man, I think I know where you're going. But you know, I'm gonna say it like this here. They was on the label, they was on CBS Records back in the days, and they was in cahoots with you know who, the Little Hat folks, and under the tutelage of Clyde Davis. And the thing, you know, they like I said, a lot of the music, it really, really hit home as far as you know, a real good, vibrant concepts. Because, like I say, you can listen to their music and you can really get a real good spiritual vibe out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, not like you can with this music of this day and time, because this music in this day and time is like low frequency. And you can tell how the way folks act and the way folks present themselves, how music really does something to the masses. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Well, what you want to say on this whole situation?
I was just looking at the picture.
Oh yeah, how he's standing in pyramid form.
Well, I mean, not only that's the basic, but I'm looking also the number of people that's in it.
Yeah.
And my thing is, I'm just wondering about anything they may have studied. I put it that way.
Yeah.
But like I say, I mean, people have to be attuned to certain things, be able to see certain things. So, like I say, yeah, we'll talk on that. Go ahead.
Right. I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna show a couple of videos.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? On Fair Use YouTube. You know what I'm saying? On the brothers, you know, and their influences and different stories of how the group came about and things of that nature. This is one video here that I was checking out earlier today. Let's see, here you go. TikTok, I wish I can show it to y'all guys, but hopefully they'll got TikTok collaborated with StreamYards real soon, where I can go live and y'all can see the same thing we looking at. You know what I'm saying? Because we have a better concepts going down with TikTok on that level than we do on YouTube, because YouTube be acting funny. But here you go.
And I said, you know, he was a stickler for perfection.
Yes.
You know, and and don't forget that we were the first African American group to do what we did.
Right.
Groundbreaking. So we didn't really have a lot of room for personal flaws.
Verdine White has allegedly been keeping a secret about Earth, Wind, and Fire for years. But now the truth is finally coming out, and it changes everything we thought we knew about the legendary band.
So it was a great learning experience.
Verdine White, the flashy, ever-smiling bassist who kept the groove alive, has seen it all. The success, the struggles, the loss. But there are parts of the band's story that have been kept in the shadows. Why did some of the original members leave so suddenly? What really happened to Don Myrick? And why were there so many money issues, even when the band was making millions?
We had to make a decision. Could we go on without Maurice? Would the audiences accept us without Maurice? So the three of us.
Earth, Wind, and Fire wasn't just a band. They were a feeling. Their music made you feel good, made you feel alive. But behind all the smooth harmonies and legendary horn sections, there were moments of heartbreak, loss, and bitter disputes. Maurice White, the mastermind behind the group, had a vision bigger than just making hit records. He wanted to create a sound that changed the world. And he did. But the price of that success? It cost friendships. It cost trust. It even cost some of the members their lives. And the one person who was there through it all? Verdine White.
And I was glad to be one of the cats. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I wasn't one of the cats yet, but I was around.
By the late 1970s, Earth, Wind, and Fire was at the top of the world. Literally. They weren't just making hit records. They were redefining what a band could be. Their music was a perfect blend of funk, soul, jazz, and even rock, wrapped up in deep spiritual themes and electrifying stage shows. Audiences couldn't get enough. Every album went platinum. Every tour sold out. The awards just kept piling up. But behind all that success, tensions were brewing. One of the biggest issues: who really deserved credit for Earth, Wind and Fire's sound? Maurice White was the visionary. He built the band from the ground up, crafting their image and overall musical direction. But while Maurice was the leader, he wasn't doing it alone. The band had some incredibly talented members who played major roles in writing and shaping the music. And one of the most important, guitarist Al McKay.
Hi, I'm Al McKay for Starlix.
McKay wasn't just another musician. He was one of the band's key songwriters. He helped create some of their biggest hits, including the legendary September. But as the band got bigger, McKay started feeling like he wasn't getting the recognition he deserved. Maurice White was the face of Earth, Wind and Fire. And in the public eye, he got most of the credit. That didn't sit right with McKay. He felt like his work was just as important, but he wasn't getting his fair share of the credit or the money. By 1980, the tension had reached a breaking point. McKay walked away from Earth, Wind and Fire, citing creative differences. But behind the scenes, it was more than just artistic disagreements. It was about respect, recognition, and compensation.
This one is my baby, and I love this band. So I'm real happy where I am.
McKay's departure was just the beginning of the band's struggles. Losing McKay meant losing one of the core architects of their sound. And it wasn't long before other problems started creeping in. For one, the band had been going non-stop for years. The pressure to keep churning out hits and touring the world was exhausting. Maurice White, in particular, was feeling the weight of it all. He was the leader, the decision maker, the one keeping everything together. And that kind of stress, it starts to take a toll. To make matters worse, the music industry itself was changing. The early 80s saw the rise of synthesizers, drum machines, and a shift in popular music trends, funk and soul.
Running.
Earth, Wind, and Fire's signature sound were starting to take a back seat to the slick electronic sounds of new wave and synth pop. The band tried to adapt, but it wasn't easy. And then came another devastating blow: Maurice White's health. Unbeknownst to fans at the time, Maurice was starting to struggle with Parkinson's disease. The symptoms weren't overwhelming yet, but they were enough to make performing and running the band harder and harder. So by the early 80s, Earth, Wind, and Fire wasn't just facing external pressures. They were fighting battles from within. Al McKay leaving was a red flag, but no one realized at the time that it marked the beginning of a slow decline. The band would continue making music, but something had changed. The magic, the unity, The unstoppable momentum they had in the 70s, it was starting to slip away. And for Maurice White, the struggles were just getting started. When people talk about Earth, Wind and Fire's signature sound, they often mention the powerhouse vocals, the funky rhythms, or the electrifying horn section. But there's one instrument that always stood out in their music, the saxophone. And one man was responsible for some of the most iconic sax solos in the band's history, Don Myrick. If you've ever heard Reasons, then you know exactly why Myrick was special. That haunting, emotional sax solo? That was him. His playing wasn't just technically brilliant, it had soul, it had pain, it had feeling. He could make his instrument cry, scream, and sing, and fans felt every note. But behind the music, Don Myrick's life wasn't always glamorous. Like a lot of musicians who came up in the 70s and 80s, Don struggled with addiction. The music industry was filled with temptation, drugs, fast money, and the pressure to keep up with an exhausting lifestyle. Touring non-stop, partying hard, and dealing with the ups and downs of fame took a toll on him. And as the years went by, Myrick's struggles started affecting his career. By the time the 80s rolled around, Earth, Wind and Fire was going through major changes. Some of the key members, including guitarist Al McKay, had left the group. Maurice White was battling health issues, and the band was feeling the pressure to stay relevant in a changing music industry. Myrick's personal struggles only made things harder. He drifted from the band, and his career began to slow down. He still played music, but it wasn't the same. The industry moves fast, and if you're not on top, it's easy to get left behind. Then came '93, the year everything came to a devastating end. On July 30th, 1993, Don Myrick was at his home in Los Angeles when police raided his apartment. The official report? Officers were searching for drugs. But what happened next is still debated to this day. According to the police, Don made a suspicious move, and in the heat of the moment, they opened fire. He was shot once in the chest and died at just 53 years old. No drugs were ever found. For a lot of people, something about the situation never sat right. Why was Myrick targeted in the first place? If no drugs were found, was the raid even justified? And
Mm, mm, mm.
most importantly, was deadly force really necessary? To this day, some believe Don Myrick was already in a downward spiral, financially, mentally, and emotionally. He had been struggling for years, and many wonder if things could have been different if he had gotten more support earlier on. Maurice White was more than just the frontman of Earth, Wind and Fire. He was the band's heartbeat, its guiding force, and the architect behind its groundbreaking sound. He wasn't just a singer, he was a producer, a songwriter, and a visionary who blended soul, funk, jazz, and African rhythms into something entirely new. Under his leadership, the band didn't just create music, they created experiences, layering harmonies, complex rhythms, and deeply spiritual messages into every song. But while the world saw him as a powerhouse on stage, few knew that behind the scenes, he was fighting a battle he could never win. The first signs of trouble appeared in the early 1980s. Maurice, always so in control, started to notice small changes in his body. They were barely noticeable: a slight tremor in his hands, a stiffness when he played an instrument. At first, he brushed it off, assuming it was fatigue from constant touring and performing. After all, Earth, Wind, and Fire was at the height of its success, and slowing down was not an option. But as time passed, the symptoms became harder to ignore. His hands shook more often, and even simple movements, like directing the band or playing the kalimba, his signature African thumb piano, became difficult. His voice, once so rich and commanding, began to lose its steadiness. Something was wrong. He sought medical advice, and after a series of tests, he received the diagnosis: Parkinson's disease. At the time, Parkinson's wasn't widely understood, but one thing was clear: it was progressive, meaning it would only get worse. For a man whose entire identity was wrapped around music, performance, and control, the news was devastating. But Maurice was not the type to show weakness. He made a decision that would define the next phase of his life. He would keep it a secret. He refused to let his illness overshadow the band's success or change how people viewed him. He didn't want pity, and he certainly didn't want Earth, Wind, and Fire's legacy to be tainted by his personal struggles. So he carried on as if nothing was wrong. He hid his symptoms from the public, from the media, and even from many of his own bandmates. He adapted, finding ways to minimize the tremors, adjusting his performance style, and letting others take on more of the physical demands of touring. But as much as he tried to fight it, Parkinson's was relentless. By the early 1990s, Maurice could no longer ignore the inevitable. The disease had progressed to the point where performing was no longer an option. His movements were too restricted, his voice too inconsistent. He had to step back from the stage.
We had to make a decision. Could we go on without Maurice? Would the audiences accept us without Maurice? So the three of us took it forward.
This marked a major turning point for Earth, Wind, and Fire. Maurice had always been the band's leader, both musically and spiritually. With him stepping away, the question became, who would take his place? That role eventually fell to his younger brother, Verdine White, the band's bassist and longtime key member. Verdine had always been an essential part of Earth, Wind, and Fire's sound and energy. But now he had to step up in ways he never had before. He took on a greater leadership role, ensuring that the band continued to thrive even without Maurice at the forefront. But this transition wasn't without controversy. Longtime fans wondered if the band could truly be the same without Maurice. Some saw Verdine's leadership as an extension of Maurice's vision, a way to keep his legacy alive. Others questioned whether Earth, Wind, and Fire could maintain its soul without the man who had built it from the ground up.
And you don't forget now, that hole he had was huge. So we had to really put it together, which we did.
Regardless, the band pressed on, continuing to tour and release music, with Maurice contributing behind the scenes as much as he could. Though he could no longer perform, he remained involved in production, songwriting, and mentoring younger musicians, determined to keep the essence of Earth, Wind, and Fire alive. Maurice White's battle with Parkinson's lasted more than 3 decades, a slow, painful struggle that took him further and further away from the music he loved. He passed away in 2016, leaving behind an untouchable legacy.
Maurice White, the founder of the US soul group Earth, Wind, and Fire, has died. He was 74.
For a band as big as Earth, Wind, and Fire, you'd think everyone would be set for life, right? Well, not exactly. Earth, Wind, and Fire was one of the biggest bands of all time, selling millions of records and filling arenas around the world. With that level of success, you'd think every member was set for life. But as it turns out, money problems haunted the band for decades, long after their peak in the 70s and 80s. Even though they had chart-topping hits, platinum albums, and legendary performances, financial issues were always lurking in the background. The biggest problem? Unpaid royalties. And in 2012, the issue finally exploded when the family of Charles Stepney, one of the key producers behind their sound, filed a lawsuit claiming he never received the money he was owed.
He was the one that Maurice respected. He was the one that could write it, arrange it, play it, show us how to sing it, and tell us when it's from.
Stepney wasn't just any producer. He was a crucial part of Earth, Wind & Fire's early success. Morris White always credited Stepney as a co-architect of their unique fusion of soul, jazz, and funk. Stepney helped shape the lush orchestral arrangements that made their music stand out, producing tracks that became legendary. But despite his impact, Stepney passed away in 1976 without seeing the full financial benefits of his work with the band. His family claimed that for decades, they had been denied royalties that should have rightfully gone to them. The lawsuit brought to light deeper issues about how the band's money was handled over the years. If someone as important as Stepney hadn't been paid properly, how many others had been shortchanged? This lawsuit wasn't just about Stepney's royalties. It opened the floodgates to long-standing tensions about Earth, Wind & Fire's finances. As one of the few remaining original members still active in the band, Verdine White found himself at the center of the controversy. Maurice had always been the leader, the visionary, the one who guided the band's creative and business decisions. But after Parkinson's forced him to step away, Verdine took on more responsibility. That meant dealing with both the band's legacy and its money issues. Naturally, people started asking, how much did Verdine know about where all the money was going? But this wasn't the first time money issues had surfaced in the band's history. Over the years, there were whispers about financial disputes, lawsuits, and behind-the-scenes struggles over royalties. Some members had left the band under unclear circumstances, and in the music business, that often meant money was involved. During the 1970s, Earth, Wind & Fire was at the peak of its success, dominating the charts with hit after hit. But behind the scenes, there were growing concerns about financial mismanagement that would eventually create serious problems for the band. One of the biggest issues was extravagant spending. As the band's fame skyrocketed, so did their expenses. Elaborate stage productions, flashy costumes, and high-end recording sessions all added up. Maurice White, the band's leader, had a grand vision for Earth, Wind & Fire that went beyond just making music. He wanted to build an empire, which included launching his own record label imprint and constructing a massive studio complex where the band could produce their music independently.
From another sense, it came from a part of me wanting to render itself to humanity. That's why we have the message music and the whole thing of associating us with spirituality.
While these ideas were ambitious, they also put a heavy financial strain on the group's resources. One of the key reasons for the financial troubles was the lack of proper oversight. In many cases, musicians trust business managers and accountants to handle money matters, but without strict supervision, things can spiral out of control. The music industry in the 1970s was notorious for artists being underpaid, misled, or outright cheated out of their earnings. While Earth, Wind & Fire was making millions from album sales, touring, and merchandising, it wasn't always clear where all that money was going. Reports surfaced that the band's finances were in trouble despite their commercial success. Some members later admitted that they weren't fully aware of how their earnings were being handled, which led to serious tensions within the group. Maurice White's passion for expanding Earth, Wind & Fire into more than just a band was admirable, but it may have contributed to the financial difficulties. He invested heavily in his Kalimba Productions label, hoping to discover and produce new talent. But running a label is a costly business, especially when managing a band as large as Earth, Wind and Fire.
Basically, we're a jazz band, and we converted a jazz band into a pop band, so it covers all areas.
By the late 1970s, these financial strains became more apparent. Although the band continued to sell records and perform sold-out shows, behind the scenes, money troubles were mounting. The combination of extravagant spending, poor financial management, and risky business ventures created a situation where even one of the biggest bands in the world wasn't immune to money problems. Ultimately, these financial difficulties would set the stage for internal conflicts that would carry over into the 1980s, affecting both the band's creative direction and its lineup. As Earth, Wind and Fire moved into the 1980s, the band faced a new kind of challenge: creative disagreements. Throughout the 1970s, their signature blend of funk, soul, and jazz had made them one of the most successful and influential groups of their era. However, as musical trends shifted in the 1980s, with the rise of synth pop, electronic music, and new wave, the band found itself at a crossroads. Some members wanted to stick to the sound that had made them famous, while others, including Maurice White, were interested in experimenting with new styles. One of the most significant moments of creative tension came when guitarist and songwriter Al McKay left the band. McKay had played a huge role in shaping Earth, Wind and Fire's signature sound, co-writing some of their biggest hits like September and Sing a Song. His departure was a major blow, and it signaled deeper issues within the group. McKay reportedly disagreed with the band's direction, particularly Maurice White's increasing interest in incorporating electronic and synth-heavy elements into their music. The biggest controversy came in 1983 with the release of the album Electric Universe. This album was a drastic departure from the band's classic sound, leaning heavily into synth-driven production that mirrored the electronic music trends of the time. While Maurice White saw it
Oh, damn, bro. I had myself on mute, didn't even know it. No, bro, I'm gonna ask you, do you actually think Maurice White wanted to experiment, or you think it was a money situation? What you think?
It's always a money situation.
Going after all these years, you see that when you put that drum machine and all that shit, that's a sound within a sound of a damn box. That's not the sound that y'all been using after all these years. They literally got in Maurice's ear and told him, bro, you can keep your money. We'll pay you more if you just kind of thin the herd. The same way they did with Mark Woods with Lakeside. We're gonna be doing them real soon too. You know what I'm saying?
I'm definitely digging it, because the whole bottom line story that I'm seeing, anytime that we have signed ourselves over to Hollywood for entertainment purposes, whether that's sports, music, or movies, is that we really don't understand. We're really selling over our images, our bodies to whatever the role or whatever's going to call, and the mind frame of this. Now, on the money side of things, the royalties that come behind these performances, this is the part that you don't understand in the contract. This is the part that's getting looked over. Because, see, they've always wanted to paint the sorry picture on us that they got out of hand balling. They was blowing up, you know what I'm saying, the gambling halls, if they want to throw that on you. They had a drink and a drug problem, they want to throw that on you. It's always something extravagant because they already know as a people not having nothing, of course, it's going to be the first thing you do. I'm going to fulfill childhood fantasies right now. I got the means to do it. That's why we had the cars looking like Tonka trucks back in the 90s with the big rims, because we had a lot of Christmas come up where we didn't have those toys.
Mm-hmm.
So you manifest it then later on in life. But the thing is, even if we were still doing it, we're still not wrong for doing it because we're only trying to be at a decent way of American living, just like the other side of the fence. That's standard for them.
Mm-hmm.
To have more than enough. That's standard.
Yep.
So we're not wrong for trying to get to the point where, I'm going to get back whatever I am. The problem is, and they're searching and scratching and trying to get back on the trips, trying to get the clothes, trying to get them J's that the guy had, but now I'm going to get them before you got them. Instead of thinking big, you're thinking small.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
So what needs to happen is that in the contracts, just like now, let me tell you something about what Ryan Coogler did. He just dropped the movie Sinners. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's a mind blower like the first Black Panther. It's that powerful. Now, what he's put in his movies for the first time ever that our people have decided to do. He said, I got to get the first dollar gross off the movie, which means he doesn't have to wait till the company gets their money after the ticket sales and everything goes down months later. Mm-hmm. The money that's coming off the top of the money, first night open, he's getting some of those residuals. Not on top of that, he owns the movie. He gets it all back in 25 years. This is what the Scorsese's and the Quentin Tarantinos, they do.
Yeah.
He'll have full ownership of this. Now, the thing about that, people, is that when you have full ownership of something now, you don't owe nobody nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have ownership of your masters, if you're into the music, if you have ownership of your name and your image, if you're into the movies, these are things that have to be put down in contract, because if not, you're going to suffer. Because, see, at the end of everybody's, all the musicians and the rappers, as we've been hearing it now, and movie stars, at the end of the story, the same story is being told. They're going out broke, and it's about money. Why is that? That's something in common.
Yeah. Yeah, CT fans say it's impossible that they can get their royalties.
But see, that's the whole problem, because, see, we just had a situation where they showed us when you ask for something that they don't really want to give you that belongs to you, they'll get you out the way. We had something happen on when? May 1st.
Mm-hmm.
March 1st, excuse me. March 1st.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was a lead up to this. It's always been about the royalties, because the royalties will set you for life.
Mm-hmm.
This is what all the albums being dropped. All the Oscar nominations are being given. So when things come up with little commercials like the KFC or something, they singing a song or something from the favorite artist, or they got a line coming from a favorite movie, these people are getting royalties now.
Yep.
But the record company, because they've been doing it so long, and this is another thing Ryan Coogler bringing up, he says that the movie genre, because the question was asked him, and they say, okay, in your opinion, what hits a person more deeply, music or cinema? And he paused for a second, and he said cinema first. Why? He says because when you're listening to music, people, it only affects your hearing gates. Those, the only gates that are open are your hearing gates. So it hits you immediately. But when you have cinematic things going on where you're hearing and seeing, the picture's being painted for you, and now it doesn't give you time to really interpret everything. That's why later on, you'll be like, man, I missed some things in that. And your mind subconsciously now is trying to replace back what was not even missed or was missed. while you was in the conscious state of watching and listening.
Real talk.
So music has power to the point, if you haven't seen a movie, spoiler alert, I got to put this in because it ties in. It's our culture. It has spiritual qualities to it because it resonates with vibrations. Because we were in a state where we always depressed. Blues was born. And in that, there's a spiritual radiation of energy that vibrates from it with our people, because that was the first nightclub, people. The juke joints were the first nightclub that started Saturday Night Live. Saturday night, chilling. Sunday morning, everybody back in church. That was the conflict from a physical aspect of trying to have some type of refresh from all the hard labor of being a sharecropper, running from the Klan, and anything else that you've been doing as far as trying to make your living, because those ghosts out there looking for you too. So my whole thing, if you haven't seen it, this was something else. It's a mind blower, it's a head scratcher, but it's our culture once again being brought to the forefront from past to culture, and it incorporates everything we do and gives you the grassroots from my home state to silk, music standard, nationwide, globally, and from that point to where we are here. I just like, he just hands down, the man needs, get a man an Oscar now. I'm gonna put it that way. But I yield back. Go ahead, bro.
All right. Yeah, that was a good analogy there, bro. For real. As always, let's kick it. Finish the story.
But as a necessary evolution, other members and many fans felt it strayed too far from what made Earth, Wind, and Fire unique. The album was met with criticism, and commercially, it underperformed compared to their past successes. Some former members were vocal about their disappointment, arguing that the band was losing its identity. The fallout from Electric Universe was significant. Following its release, Earth, Wind, and Fire went on hiatus, marking the first major break in their career. Maurice White eventually pursued solo projects, but tensions over the band's sound and direction lingered. When the band reunited later in the decade, they attempted to strike a balance between modernizing their music while staying true to their roots. However, the creative disputes of the 1980s had already taken a toll. Many original members had moved on, and while Earth, Wind, and Fire remained a respected and legendary group, the internal struggles over their musical direction left a lasting impact. By the 1990s, Earth, Wind, and Fire had cemented their legacy as one of the most influential bands in music history.
Well, the first thing I can say is that I'm speechless for getting this together. But it's been a long, hard road, but it's been a beautiful road, having the talented musicians along with us to take the ride.
Their songs had become timeless classics, and with the rise of hip-hop and electronic music, many new artists were sampling their work. However, this led to a new battle: unauthorized sampling and legal disputes. Sampling, the practice of taking a portion of a song and reusing it in another, became a major part of hip-hop and dance music culture in the 1990s. While some artists obtained permission and paid royalties, many did not. As a result, Earth, Wind, and Fire found themselves fighting to protect their intellectual property. One of the most notable cases involved the Italian dance group Black Box, who had built their music around sampled vocals and instrumental loops. In 1990, Black Box faced lawsuits for using unlicensed vocals from Loliata Holloway, a singer whose voice had been heavily sampled in dance music. Since some of her vocals were tied to songs connected with Earth, Wind, and Fire's influence, this case brought more attention to the issue of unauthorized sampling. Maurice White and the remaining members of Earth, Wind, and Fire were not against sampling in principle. In fact, they understood that their music had influenced a new generation of artists. However, they were firm about ensuring that they were properly credited and compensated. Many legendary artists, especially black musicians from the 1970s, had faced situations where their work was used without acknowledgement or payment. Earth, Wind and Fire was determined not to let that happen. The lawsuits of the 1990s helped set a precedent for music rights and intellectual property in the digital age. Artists were increasingly taking legal action to claim ownership of their work, leading to stricter copyright enforcement in the industry. As a result, future musicians had to navigate more complex licensing agreements when sampling classic tracks. At the end of the day, Earth, Wind and Fire's music will always be legendary. That's never gonna change. But when you look at everything that happened behind the scenes, the lawsuits, the members who left, the financial struggles, the tragic losses, it makes you wonder, did it all have to go down this way? Could some of these guys have been helped before things got too far? Could some of these friendships have been saved? And what role did Verdine really play in all of this? One thing's for sure, this story is a lot deeper than just the music. Anyway,
All right. Shout out to my bro from East Oakland, Jay Wright in his house. What's happening, bro?
Salute.
Yeah. Bro, what you think about this whole situation right here?
Man, I'm gonna reiterate it again. It's the record companies that own it. Because that's the funny thing is when we sample from our own people, which is what we should do because it's our music. We can sample. But the problem is the record companies will go and tell them, or they'll get wind of it saying that they try to steal something from you. The whole time frame, they got your masters. Now, who's the bigger thief here? That's the whole problem. Because see, if our people had their masters, we wouldn't have nobody problem talking about, you know what I'm saying? I need my royalties.
Real talk.
So they gave you a track record. We've been doing it for decades of stealing. Ain't nobody doing nothing about it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Man.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's easy to sit up there and play the little front role, like, we trying to change the sound of music up because you know what I'm saying, it's a new day and all this old shit. Well, at the same time, you're not gonna tell that you don't want to pay your folk, you don't want to pay the money that they deserve because you feel like that you're gonna rise up a community, with their genre of music. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's crazy as hell for them to even put that out there. Because like I said, Maurice White, he was the leader of the group, so they literally came after him to give him an itinerary thought to say, hey, you have a choice now. If you pay all these guys, and if we pay all these guys in the group get paid, that means you're gonna get less pay. So what is Maurice White gonna do? He gonna cut back. He gonna like, oh shit, we want to cut some of these motherfuckers then.
See, that's that domino effect right there. Because they not telling Maurice, we got y'all masters. That's why you got to cut back on your part with them. Because we got the majority of your money. We ain't gonna tell you that. We just gonna tell you your cut about to get smaller. So you need to do something with that within your own. That's been always all the groups that's been having internal beef about the money situation stems back to the record company. I rest my case on that. Straight like that.
Yep. So, it ends up. Hold on. Okay. End this live over here. All right. End the live at TikTok. So you got to reboot and all that other shit over there in order to keep your live going. I ain't got time for that. Anyway, it go from, being a family group like this to being like this. You know what I'm saying? That's where Earth, Wind and Fire at. in this day and time. There ain't no mistake. There ain't no coincidence. That's by design.
Ooh, hold on. I see T Fam One. He just dropped something. He said it sounds like it's best to be independent if you can afford it. Let me jump into that.
Okay.
Because he's definitely, you know what I'm saying, exactly on the right, you know what I'm saying, lane with that. Now check it. Being from the South, the thing is, during the 90s, before the South got they shine and wanted to get on musically, well, to the east, up north, out west, they had their record labels.
Yeah.
We didn't have access to the record label, so the only way we knew how to do it was underground, straight out the trunk, baby.
Yes, sir.
So we rock parties, we rock birthdays, we rock after party graduations. The blocks, the city knew you was hot. So first and Fridays on payday, you stood at the barbershops, you was at the Walmarts, you was letting your CDs and stuff going on, so everybody knew you was hot. The thing about it was, if you had at that time frame, let's just say you bought 1,000 CDs. All right. You sold them at $20. You're getting more out your money, people, than what you spent on it. That's called self-investment. And because people know that you're hot, they're going to go ahead and support you. That's how the record labels heard about who was hot when they had their tout scallons outside. Because they say, well, yeah, such and such been blowing. Oh, yeah, okay. But so then a record label comes in, interestingly enough, and that's why we should have kept them out and should have kept music underground, is that when the big record labels came in, the industry came in, the industry was looking at a way how we could corner this thing and control it from the get-go, and we didn't know that.
Yeah. Real shit.
We're looking for a way to distribute what we got so we can get it on a mass scale so we can be hot and blow up nationally and then globally, that we don't see that the bigger picture, like, yeah, we're going to put you out there on the map, but we're going to take the land that you're making. Your foundation will be snatched from up under you.
Yep.
So everybody's like, let me just get the message out there then. And okay. But in desperation, we should understand, if we create this thing, it should be able to go at our speed. But because you got money bags telling you need to go this, you need to put this out right now, I need these minutes before all that, you went right back into slavery mode, did not know it. So you have to break the mental chain of understanding that it is best to be independent. And they showed you this with our brothers back in the day when Irv Gotti, Jay Prince, and Suge Knight say, you know what? Since hip-hop is banging right now and we control, how about we cut them out and we be our own distribution company? We'll push our own music. We'll be self-contained, cash money brothers, if you will.
Yep.
Industry say, no, we in too deep now, as the song says. And they had to bust that thing up.
Yep.
They had to hit their 336 of tear the club up.
Yeah, hit them with all kind of different type of charges and stuff.
Of course.
They kind of throw everything off on, the masses.
How dare you give us a taste of this gold mine and then tell us y'all gonna shut us out? No. I heard it best on the Iron Man movie. That's the tripped out part about it. He was telling Tony, his little arch enemy, on the first when he made the suit, when he made the first original suit, he's like, how dare you think that this belonged to you? And this another white man talking to him. But he was giving you the truth of the matter in the line. How dare you think that your idea belongs to you? This got to be commoditized, made money off of it. Because that's what happened when someone's jealous of you, when you're creative and they don't have no type of creativity. I have to learn to control you. And I'm going to yield back.
Yep. And that's the thing that hurts the most, because they know who we are when it comes down to everything that we make and create. They know that it's always going to stand the test of time. and they want a piece of it because they don't understand how we do it. They try to understand, but they could never catch on. Never.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They can never catch on. I mean, it's just like somebody said, you know, now we were talking about earlier about reparations and stuff. And you got some black folks saying that we don't need no reparations. And I don't really consider a lot of these folks that say stuff like that saying that we don't need reparations, because I know a lot of are paid trolls. They get out here and talk like they got a big education mindset to basically throw off our people to thinking that we just asking for handouts. But they don't feel the same way about other nations that come here. The Asians, they come here, the Chinese, the Japanese, you know, the Arabs, the Armenians, the Somalians, the Africans, all of them come here and get a goddamn paycheck. You know what I'm saying? But you know, get their money. We don't get nothing. You know why? Because they know that we are who we are. They know that we'll change the game as soon as we get what we looking for. And folks say, "Oh no, y'all ain't gonna do nothing. Go to the store and buy Jordans." It don't matter what we go to the store and buy. It's still going back into the economy, regardless of what.
No, they know. That's the thing is, they needed one of us to down us because we will listen to us somewhat. That's the sad part about it. They tapped into our brother and sisterhood here, and they broke that up to it betrays one another. This is what mental slavery would do to you when you ain't broke the chain. I still see you as an enemy. How many of us that ran off through the city or wherever you're from, ran across somebody that you didn't know, and somebody was mean, and I don't know you.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Something has been planted.
Yeah.
Because that's not normal.
Yep. Straight like that.
Man.
And see, that's the whole thing that really sets the standards of ignorance in our society, because like I say, a lot of folks that do all this babbling about we don't need reparations, we don't need this and that and the third, they're the ones that that will sit up there and do anything for a Klondike bar. They'll take a check to take you out to make themselves look superior. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have the mindset to basically hold things down like a man's supposed to or a woman's supposed to. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. You know, I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. T-Fam. Yeah, it's brainwashing in one-on-one.
You better ask somebody. You really better ask somebody.
I mean, because see, like I say, you know, like today I was on the channel on TikTok and the young lady said, you know, that I was getting on her nerves, basically getting on her nerves because, you know, what I was saying about what I was thinking about women, you know, being, you know, certain way in society. And I just showed a video to my girl Keisha not too long ago where this elderly man, he's looking like he was out in his late 60s, going with this young woman, and her son is 17. And she comes home and says, I'm pissed off. She mad. He like, mad for what? Because such and such called me talking about that you talking crazy to him. And he said, talking crazy like what? He said, you told my son to go out and cut the grass. And he said, he's only 17. I said, what? He's 17 years old and he don't need to go out and cut the grass?
Well, listen. Listen. This movie, I got to go back to the Ryan Coogler Sinners movie. You haven't seen, you need to go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the premises is what destroyed us as a people because of our hospitality. Whereas these other people on the other side, they took their kindness and wisdom and infiltrated and destroyed everything. Mm-hmm. And we still do this to the day. We invite the enemy in.
Mm-hmm.
We continue to do that. We're going to let you come to the cookout. Stop that, people.
Yeah.
Because they always envied our culture. And once they get our culture, we make Eminem number one. Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry.
No, bro.
I didn't mean to say that. I know I hurt some people's feelings. I didn't mean to do that, people. It just comes out. I don't know how to lie to people. I just don't know how. I'm sorry.
No, you gave it 2 plus 2.
2 plus 2 is 4. Make it.
Definitely did that. You gave it 2 plus 2.
Uh-oh. Because we give our greatest gifts away to those that don't love us.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put the accolades on people that we have worked hard and it's effortless for us, but for them it's mind blowing. Why you think the whole world follows us and we in our baddest shape? What that take?
Yeah. Sister Showers Ali said we still great in our ignorance. Now think about that.
Man, that's the thing about it. We look at mean muggers because in the slavery mind frame, we were taught to say that you're nothing, I'm nothing. When we watched the movie Juice in '92, for those that know, that's why the line resonated then when Bishop told my man Q at the locker, when I know I'm not nothing, because he sees nothing in himself. And because we look alike, I see you as nothing. That's why it's easy to go ride on each other. Oh man, did I say that? I'm sorry, it's coming out. I didn't mean to. It's just a faucet. I got to learn how to turn it down.
Okay. Let's see that, shall we?
Man, get off that shit.
Uh-oh.
It's over. It ain't nothing nobody can do about it now. What do you want from me, man? Nothing. Just came to see if you was all right. See how you been doing. Well, I ain't talked to nobody, all right? I know.
Uh-huh.
I just came to see what's up. Let me tell you something, B. I'm only playing your fucking game because ain't shit else to do. But don't you ever pull a gun on me again in your life. Well, I hope I won't have to. Yeah, we all go down because we all crew.
Yes, sir.
Just try me if you think I'm bullshit. Look at this. The brother finally decides to stand up like a man and throw down.
Chef's kiss, brother.
Die first, huh? It's over. Everything starts from now. We all go down unless we stay together. Ain't no one man above the crew. You know that shit. Crazy, man. You know what? When you said that last time, I was kind of tripping, right? But now, you're right. I am crazy. But you know what else?
Yes, sir.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck about Steele. And I don't give a fuck about Raheem either. I don't give a fuck about myself. Look, I ain't shit. I ain't never gonna be shit. And you less of a man than me. So as soon as I decide that you ain't gonna be shit, so be it. You remember that, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Cook. Chef's kiss on that. Right on time.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
See, that thing, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because his whole character, anyway, in that movie was he had nobody to really show him how to be a man. You know what I'm saying? And he thought this by basically, you know, turning to a gun and doing crazy shit was the way to be a man. He didn't realize that was the way of his way to literally dying later on down the line in the movie.
But see, that's the thing. When we first met Bishop's character, he came down hallway. His pop was sitting in a chair, comatose, staring toward, I guess, the TV, and he slid some money in his pocket. And the man didn't flinch. The man wasn't there for him emotionally. You can't learn from your father that he's not there mentally. Oh, it was so deep, bro. Anyway, I'm gonna yield back. Go ahead. I need to roll up.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You know what I'm saying? Because see, that's why I say, you know, when I was talking to that sister on that panel, and she was saying the shit she was saying, she wasn't trying to hear what I had to say because she was too emotionally charged up. But the thing is, go back to that video about the woman talking about her son is 17 and he shouldn't be out there cutting no grass. It's really the reason why a lot of these women asking why ain't no good men out here. Well, hell, check the pedigree, check the women's household, check your own sisterhood, and see how they're raising their sons into little girls instead of little boys, instead of young men. But they can't raise them to young men because ain't no men there. They got to raise them into the hierarchy of themselves.
You know, and to pull up on the wave with you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sisters, if y'all listening right now, you know what I'm saying? I got to say something to you that's going to be straight up Hennessy and you ain't got no chaser with it, okay? If you're raising a male and you say, I can raise this child of mine to be a man, you're dead wrong. Because without the male being somewhere around that he can attach himself to see the future version of himself, all he's going to see is how to problem solve things the way you do. And that's going to be from an emotional based stance, which he's built to be logically bound. You're going to twist him up backwards, which is why now there is no fist fights. There is no 60 seconds out there so we can get it in and get it out. I'm too emotional to feel how everybody going to say, so I got to blast on you first. That's why we don't get it in no more. And that's why they weaken emotion makes it more dangerous than what we were coming up. Oh my goodness. Did I say that? I'm sorry. Is this too much?
No, you ain't said nothing wrong, bro. You was dead the fuck on. I mean, straight like that, you was dead the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever think you was saying something wrong. You was on there. And that's the thing that folks don't understand. That's what make us men, because we spit this real. That's what we supposed to do.
You're goddamn right.
So, I mean, that's just how it is. You know, regardless of how you feel, because see, the thing is, we are logical beings. Men are logical beings. Women are emotional beings. It's our duty to try to guide them in the righteous path and let them understand how this thing works. Not them guide us into the path that they want to see, because we let them guide us into the right path, then it's going to be fucked up, because you never let the tail overthrow the head. The head's supposed to overthrow the tail. And one thing about it, when you cut the head off a snake, the body of that snake goes crazy. It's just the tail. So what's that telling you? It means it's out of control. And that's how the society is. It's out of control without the head. If you ain't got the head man in the house, the house goes out of control. Just like the snake head when it's cut off. It goes out of control. And this is where we are in society. And that's why it's so easy to convince people to doing sucker shit that they know is wrong. Because like I said, it shouldn't be to the point where we have to go to answer to a damn recessive hybrid being for our ways of life in this society. They don't know shit. They need us more than we need them. They just want you to think you need them. That's by design.
I want to know if the family has really been paying attention to the other side of the people. And I'm not saying this for to be no type of menace or being bad about it. I'm just trying to show you that I'm trying to show you my people their value. Let's put it that way. 2017, these people was out there in Virginia with tiki torches saying we would not be replaced because they had come up nationally on the registry through analysis that their race was dying out. The birth rates were down drastically. They weren't increasing. Then feminism is pushing, you know what I'm saying, the male and the female away from each other, which happened to spill over into our spot, but that's another story. We know what that's like, but to stay on point, is that now since the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl performance, if you've been watching and paying attention, Their women on their side have been taken into every consideration, every cultural music banger that we put out, and now asserting themselves into to look attractive. What did that tell you? I know what it tell you, because I was looking at an interview 2 years ago. Black guy was out on the streets just randomly asking questions. Ran up on this one woman, white woman that is, and asked the white woman, says, what would you rather date right now, black or white? She said black. He said why? She said, because I'm trying to continue on our family line, because they originally came from our race and bloodline. And if they don't intermingle with us, they will die out. That's why when you get the so-called biracial child, that child's going to feel neglected by both sides because both sides doesn't want it. But when you get down to these times right now, it's going to be accepted because they're using that biracial child to marry back into their so-called pure line. And by 4 generations down, it will be them again. See how that works?
Yeah,
for those of you that are professionally inclined or musically inclined and making money and have one of these on your side, if you look at the track record of those that have been married over to them, you're not around long and the money goes over to their side of the family. Did I just say that? Is that too much, man? Is that too much? Okay, all right.
You're goddamn right.
Real shit. Real shit. That's what folks don't fail to realize and understand. Because like I said, you're going backwards instead of going forward.
Y'all got to go see that movie, man. It plays right. I mean, I got to keep bringing it up and promoting it because it's the truth. The man put it down in there. We got to stop accepting those that are not with us. Another powerful theme song that dropped, Not Like Us. It's a lot of things going on, a lot of layers going on that's being put down. And from that point up to this point, it's going to be an interesting year, y'all.
Yeah. Yep. Well, only thing I can say, we need to get together and fast.
And so here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you, just in case everybody out there, well, what did we miss? All right, I'm gonna give you the recap now, so you can say I did not know, but I'm gonna tell you now. The first one thing was the Super Bowl thing was. Remember your culture. The second thing here was, in the movie being dropped, was preserve and protect your culture. Please keep these two things in mind as we continue on this train called 2025. Oh, it's going to be a hot year.
Yep. Real deal, real seal, real spiel. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. I see Nikki back on here. What's up, Nikki? You want to come up and say something right quick?
Yeah, for sure. Everybody's welcome.
You know what I'm saying? Want to say something, you know, and talk about Friday. I was going off on the hybrid.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Let's see. Yeah, you come up, you want. Yeah, but bro, only thing I can say, you know, I just feel like, you know, even with that Earth, Wind, and Fire situation, go back to Earth, Wind, and Fire, we got so much equipment, a lot of, you know, music equipment that we can just invest on our own shit now, bro, and do everything independently instead of going to these industries, because we know these industry motherfuckers are satanic. We know that they don't have our best interests at heart. You know what I'm saying? Because we done seen the same dog and pony show, you know, Insight, just keep coming over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like we ain't seen nothing. And you know, just like this is the first go around. I mean, we didn't see it with Michael Jackson, Prince, you know what I'm saying, Whitney Houston, R. Kelly, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Bill Cosby, You know, I mean, just to name a few. Artists and actors and things of that nature. You know. There's a video here about Maurice White.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's on his marriage or something. Hold on. Let's see if I can pull that up. Let me bring that up right quick. Fair use YouTube. I can see them trying to get some shit started, as always.
Yeah, it's always a hot topic. They want to sit there and monitor.
Yeah.
And the spirituality is all one. With my spirituality being together, I can more or less call upon my creativity.
When Earth, Wind and Fire took over the airwaves with hit song Boogie Wonderland, they not only announced their grand entrance to the limelight, but also captivated a wider audience beyond soul music enthusiasts. Their energetic rhythm and glamorous style ensured the band achieved a monumental and long-lasting success. During their heyday, Earth, Wind and Fire dominated the popular music scene, exuding a vibrant and perpetual party atmosphere like a dazzling group of funk angels. This infectious blend of sophistication and positivity can be attributed to the talents of one man, and one man only. Maurice White. As the group's songwriter, producer, vocalist.
What was that?
Checking out T-Fam.
What was that? Oh, what he said?
I mean, we get it at it. We can wait till you run your you can run your clip.
No, you can go ahead. You can say something on that now.
I mean, you know.
I mean, we already know the deal, bro.
Ooh.
You can go and
Well, my thing is, see, outward appearance tells a lot of things. I just start there. Outer appearance to tell exactly what a person is thinking or feeling. Outer appearance is, I'll say, a promotional board. So when you feel in a certain way, let's take a woman example. Since she's the most, you know what I'm saying, talked about creature on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
When she's in house rollers, house shoes, real long t-shirt, still woman, still your woman.
Yeah.
Still got that love for her. And she's in there cooking like, yeah, that's what's up. I'm about to get the grub on. Then there was other times when you happen to show up and she's dressed up.
Mm-hmm.
So like one of those times when, yeah, you was like that when I first saw you. You had on, you know what I'm saying, either your boots or your heels.
Mm-hmm.
I like, you know what I'm saying, your top you had on, whether it was, you know what I'm saying, a mid-rib, button down, open, jeans, long shorts, or skirt, or sundress.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, we see the goddess now. It intensifies, you know what I'm saying, the beauty of things. It's like icing on a cake.
Mm.
So that's what we like to see, because that's the epitome of what a woman is to us. Ain't nothing like it. Now let's get into the submission.
Yeah.
Since I got the flow. People, we have been bamboozled, hoodwinked, and run amok, as the late, great Malcolm X said.
Yeah.
Because see, submission, now people don't cringe, don't put your hands over your ears either. Let's talk about it as adults. As supposed to be the gods and goddess original of this planet and plane. Talking about not coming up to par, but we ain't gonna even get to that right now. We have to get to a point where we can talk about submission because it's not as difficult as you think. I think a lot of women know exactly what it means. They just refuse to be and just want to be a rebel. Because submission is basically, I'm listening. That's it. I need you to go to the store, grab 20 out the, ATM, throw some gas in the car, and bring it on back. Okay, that's submission. Let's take it deeper. Y'all at the job. The boss man comes out to you. Miss Jane, I need you to run on me 20 copies of this, run it over to the FedEx spot, ship that off, stop by, the other post office over town because we couldn't have our package over at this one that you just went to, but we need you to pick it up and then bring us back in 2 coffees. Okay, that's submission. So it's all about, do you want to listen? I'm going to yield back.
There it is. Once again, brothers didn't knock it out of the park again. They knocked the ball out the park again. Straight home run. And that's the thing when you think about it, man. You can go and submit to your job, but you don't want to submit to your home.
Nah.
That's crazy as shit. You know what I'm saying? You talking about what I get paid. I mean, yeah, you get paid at home too.
Nah.
Shit. Shit. Ain't no one-sided situation. It's a two-side.
Hey, that's the thing about it. Our women too, they in battle mode. The original God and Goddess, they got us in battle mode through the spirit of division because she don't want to get into her role because the emotional side listens to logic. That's the formula, people. That's the formula. Yeah. That's the formula. And the slick devil has them turned it on his head.
Yeah.
Because emotion says, I want to be logic. That's not going to work. Because 2 + 2 is 4. 2 + 2 is not going to be like, well, I feel like it could be 6. No. The math has to add up. 2 + 2 is 4. That's the logic. Yep. Don't care about how you feel about it. That's the logic.
That's what folks got to understand. You got to get out your feelings on this whole behalf, thinking that everything is supposed to be in your favor. You know what I'm saying? Because of how you feel. Instead of how to think the way things supposed to be. You know what I'm saying?
They got our people, male and female, in our feelings, and that's why it's all wrong. The male side of us need to be on the logic page because that's how we're wired to be. 2 + 2 is 4. It ain't about how you feel. We need to get back to that.
Yeah, like T-Fan said, everybody wants to control the black men and take our money. Yeah,
that's the thing, because they know once we understand unity and then we get on our page, naturally divine, where the men are logic, the women are feminine, the femininity, which is the emotion, listen to the leadership, we become once again heads of the planet. They don't want that. They got to keep this thing going. That's how they get paid.
Yep.
Did I say that? Did I say that? Is this too much? All right, man. You know what?
But because see, it's one thing when you had all these different nations, different entities of folks coming at us, treating us like shit, and then the last but not least, the black woman, the one that we basically stood by since the beginning of time, turns her back on us. It's like we ain't got shit now.
But see, it's cool because that's the thing about being brainwashed one-on-one. Because see, the thing is, once they came in from the women, fresh off the women's suffrage movement, they said, because they had nothing to do with our women. Let's just put that out there now. Let's start there. The women's suffrage movement had nothing to do with our women, because during this time frame, since slavery, post-slavery, black families were thriving. Yeah. It wasn't until the early, as far as the civil rights movement, we've got to get inside the family to tear that up. Because the family is the one that goes to church. The church is the one that's got the civil rights movements going. We got to hit them where it hits, and that's at the home. All right, this is what we're going to do. We'll tell the woman coming off the civil, we can help you now. sense of what you put your consideration and your participation, they fronted her with welfare. Our men at that time, because of the love that we had for our women and our family, decided to get out the house. So we say, I want my baby and my woman them to eat. That's why we decided to leave out. It wasn't because of that. It was because of love. Let's put that on the plate.
Yep.
Now, since the time of love, leaving the house out of love, and 3 decades later being told you ain't nothing, nobody wants to come back home.
Got a troll. Get that out of here.
I don't know.
Anyway, what was you saying now, bro?
I don't know.
Got a troll come in on Twitch TV.
Yeah, I'm looking at this garbage ass dude, right? Who is that, bro?
I don't know. Nothing.
I don't need you with tandem out, whatever that is.
You know, they got to distract us every time. You know what I'm saying? You say some real shit. They distract you with the words, or they'll just cut your cord.
Man, we laser focus. He ain't got nothing going on, you know what I'm saying? That's all it is. Little breadcrumb in the water. Let that float on by.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying? The culture is what we make it, because the thing is, if they control the black man, then the thing is we won't take our rightful place as heads of the planet. Because see, we're melanated people. Let me give you something that y'all haven't been seeing about monster moves and things of this nature. They've always been from the white side of the fence, right? Now, if you go back to a spiritual standpoint, which is me personally, from my personal beliefs and all that, which is the Torah, understanding from the book of Enoch, the thing about that, these hybrids don't have pigmentation. These hybrids also, in our day and time frame, they out there on the beach, they have to wear sunscreen and sunblock. They get cancer.
Yeah.
If you're original indigenous person that was formed for this planet, you will be made suitable for this planet.
Yep.
Let's put something out there. They said that they was out there in Egypt running around because of the history and the technology that baffles the entire planet still. They said they was out there. If that's the case, how come they haven't digged up no mummies that's got 2,000 or 3,000 year old sunblock in the tomb with them? Because that's what they was gonna need. Did I say that? Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry, bro. You know, let me pull it back, man. I yield back. Go ahead.
You for real?
Yes.
Yeah. Very for real. Hey, they don't like it. They don't like it. They don't like it.
No, they don't like it.
I see OG on TikTok. My brother OG, bro, been hiatus. They didn't fuck with my brother from Alabama, Birmingham. But yeah, that's the thing, bro. That's the whole thing within itself. You know what I'm saying? Because see, they like to take our history and rewrite it and Puff Daddy remix it.
They got to, because it's a power that we have that they'll never have. They're shut out from that. That's the envy. That's the hatred.
Yeah. Because
see, it comes out of us in a spirit, in a physical standpoint, which is song and vibration, and makes their soul and everybody on the planet. If we're in a bad mood, in a sad mood, and we sing over the airways, anybody that hears us outside of us, they're gonna feel it. They're gonna be in tears.
Oh yeah.
That's the power that's resonating out of a vibration that's not genetically to them. They can't sing like that. And then when we're happy, we'll get into a dance mode, and it's rhythmic.
Oh yeah, and
they ain't got that either.
And it's on point. You know what I'm saying? We dancing to the beat. Them motherfuckers all over the place.
So the crazy thing, and y'all do your own history. I'm just gonna throw this out there because it's relevant. The tribe that we have coming over this way, the original name means praise and dance. So it's no reason why we wouldn't do that to this day. Now y'all dig into it like you want to, but like I say, I did the research. That's what's out there. But our song, our praise, and our dance is powerful because the world's like, I like that. We want to be like that. So now they're rapping, they're dancing, They're dripping, they're dragging, and they're sagging. And this is in our worst mind frame.
Yeah.
What would we do if we was in the God mind? Oh, did I say that?
Bro,
Did I say that?
Bro, that is church. That is church right there.
Did I say that, man?
That is church.
Did I say that?
Hopefully y'all can hit the like button, y'all watching out there. You know what I'm saying? Please hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. We're getting good church here tonight. but yeah, you know, that's what I said. Sister Shawzar Ali said it best. She said, we even good in our ignorance. Now that's powerful.
Yeah. The whole world is doing it right now.
Yeah, I mean,
folks.
What they doing over there? What they're doing over there in Japan right now? They sea walking.
Man, listen. I told you from personal experience, being, you know what I'm saying, ex-military, just to give you the people a personal glimpse into, you know what I'm saying, me. But as my time over there, back in the late 90s, let's just put that out there for a time frame. Mm-hmm. Back in the late 90s, the albums that was being dropped from our people in hip-hop, it came out over there first.
Yep.
The movies that was dropping in the States, it came out where we was at first. And I'm in Japan, people. On top of this,
tell them, bro, the movies that y'all got the full movie. Y'all didn't get no damn deleted scenes. Y'all got
no, man. We got IMAX treatment, all deleted scenes, including the bloopers. Now, here's the thing about it, though, man. So, being over that way, you know what I'm saying, you get a chance to see that there's a different way of going things. So, when we hit the club night scene, believe me, they have turned their night scene and it imitates Black culture night scene. What I mean? They're out there on the drag strip, which is the freeway now, because the cops go home at 9 o'clock. You heard me right. The cops go home at 9 o'clock, Friday, Saturday night, and they're out there drag racing on the strip. Now, along with that, pulling up to the club before the club even opens up, they out there having their own little car show. They got 64 drop tops, old school Impalas. They popping up the hoods. You seeing chrome and gold. Best type of condition you ever seen with the neon lights to highlight. Yeah, that type of stuff going on. And what the crazy thing was, I like, now all they need is something. Before I can say it, they dropping the Master P because that's what was rocking at the time. And it was na 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 na. And I said, oh man, that's it. That's it. I heard the story about folks say they wasn't leaving. I said, okay, I understand now. I understand. You comfortable.
Yeah. Well, that's just like I told you about the brother Jeff Daniels, Shalimar. You know what I'm saying? When he left LA and went over there, he didn't come back.
Man, I had one of the best times ever. I was trying my best to try to find one of the ninja clans, but no, man, I'm getting off track. Go ahead, bro.
Well, it just goes to show you that the United States, they telling us one thing and the other nations is telling another. But you will never know how things are until you leave out of here.
That's the eye opener, bro. Listen, people, I'm glad my brother brought that up. Listen, you have been given a divine right to be born on this planet. Isn't it your duty to yourself to travel the globe to see at least half of it? I'm going to put that out there. I'm going to yield back. Did I say that? I didn't say that out loud there. I didn't say that out loud.
Yeah, you said it, bro. You said it. You said it. You gave it 2 + 2. And that's the thing. Because, see, the thing is, you know, you got folks out here babbling and saying that other nations don't like us either. But at the same time, how the hell would you know? Have you went to the other nations?
All right, you know what? They say they don't like us. Let me give you the story. My brother already knows this. It has to deal with the Hard Rock Cafe. 6 of us left the base, people, Friday night. My first Friday night there in a new country, 8,000 miles away. So I'm taking it all in. I'm a kid in the candy store if you want to really know how I was feeling. So we get off the train. We down in Yokohama. We're 2 hours away down from Tokyo, is which way we're headed. But while we're down there, we're getting our plan for the night together. So we stop off in front of the Hard Rock Cafe while we all huddle up saying what we're going to do next. While we're sitting there getting our plan together, people, the electric slide is starting to play out the Hard Rock. So instantly, you know what we did. We get into dance. 3 minutes later, the music cuts. We see 2 people in white shirts, black bottoms run out, Japanese style. Got aprons on that are white, bow ties. And we think we're in trouble. They're going to tell us, no, y'all going to have to move along out in front of the restaurant. That's what we thinking. They said, no, we need y'all to come in. Everybody's got this crazed look on his face, like, what's going to go down there? Me, I'm like I'm in Indiana Jones movie. Like, I don't know what's about to happen, but I'm about to enjoy it, whatever. This is going to make a good story. Hence, I'm telling y'all, interestingly enough. So, they pull us in. We get in. The place is packed, people. They've got the round tables with the white cloth sheets on them. Candles on top in the centerpiece. Plates of food on it. And the folded up napkin with the utensils to the right. Y'all see where I'm going with this. They tell us, okay, can you do the dance again? We looking around like, what were we talking about here? Not remembering, you know what I'm saying, what we were just doing. And then he threw on the music, like, we said, oh, the electric slide. And they all started laughing, like, yeah, electric slide. I'm like, okay. So we started doing the dance. Few seconds in, the music stopped again. Somebody from the back that was sitting down at their table runs up and talks to one of the waitresses. The waitress goes up to somebody behind the curtain. The guy behind the curtain comes out. He got a full suit on. So I'm like, okay, he's got to be a manager or something, which he was. So he's like, would it be okay if y'all stand on the table? We like, say what now? He said, everybody stand on the table. I'm like, on top of the table. Where they got they place. He's like, yeah. We take our shoes off, which was the Japanese way of doing things anyway. Interesting, because it doesn't wear out your floors. It doesn't wear out your carpets. That's why they do it. That's why they practice it. Doesn't muddy up the place either. So we're used to doing it anyway. So we hop up on the tables. Everybody's got their best white socks on anyway. True story. They start the music and we're dancing on top of the table. I thought it was a dream going. Each time I think and talk about this story, it seems dreamlike because I'm like, only there outside of the U.S. It'll go down like that. But the crazy thing was about it, people, is after it was over and everybody got down and everybody is huffing and puffing outside, laughing, joking, talking about what a good time was. The man comes out and says, can we come back next week? That's love, y'all. I'm a yield back.
He didn't call
outside of the U.S.
He didn't call the cops. He didn't
Man,
the
man said they needed an encore for next week.
What, according to the King Cone of consciousness, he said otherwise. You know, he said that, you know what I'm saying, that's part of the trilateral thing, and they are basically the white supremacists of Japan.
How about that man go ahead and get that school up that he's been talking about for the last 20-some years?
You know, why don't he just do this right here?
Stop, y'all. Keep talking. Huh? You keep talking, man. And you shut the fuck up. Huh? Because the next thing you don't know.
That's all he got to do is shut the fuck up and just keep his own goddamn demise. Because see, the thing is, you know, you saying things like that, we already know you working for them goddamn people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, all of them hustling. You know what I'm saying? All of them out here. All of them. I didn't say none, some of them. I said all of them. Charlton White, Tariq Nasheed, Dr. Umar Johnson. All of them out here doing the damn thing. They all getting money. To keep the bullshit going. That's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And they just constantly just thinking, they go, like I say, if they can't do it, if the hybrids can't do it, they'll send out some of our best house niggas to do it for them.
And next time they send out Jesse now or Al Sharpton, we got to get out. You just need to just shut the fuck up. Because the next thing that come out your mouth, you don't know. Huh?
For real.
Woo, train.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shit. Even Jesse Lee. Jesse Lee get to talking crazy.
Smarter than me. I'm as smart as hell. You're a little smarter than me. If you can't I just need clarity. If you can't beat them, join them. Yes. And I know them butter biscuits are good in the big house, ain't they? Yes, sir.
Did you hear what he said? Man, if y'all didn't catch that.
He said, what's sir? He down with it.
He say, y'all know y'all love them butter biscuits in the big house. He talking about them two. It's two house niggas having a conversation about being in that. Man, did y'all catch that?
Bro, you know that the other cat was done. You know what the other cat was, didn't you? That was Tyreek.
It don't matter. I don't care. Listen, people. Listen. If they look, man, we like we say in the South, all black folks ain't kinfolk, and all skin folks ain't kinfolk.
Yeah, like
so that's
yeah. Jesse and Al Sharpton, they all played out. We ain't worried about them. They got the new cats out here now. You know what I'm saying? The ones that we called out. Yeah. Most definitely.
I'm not listening to none of them garbage folks, man, because they all Muppets at the end of the day. I mean, that's the thing about it. If you look at old Charleston White's old, you know what I'm saying, video, he'll sit there and tell you. I used to try to do, you know what I'm saying, positive stuff, but they wouldn't listen, so this is how I got their attention. And then the people love that want to control us once again, so they use people that look like us to do that. Man, it's sick and sad. I mean, it's tragic because we willing to sell out because, you know what I'm saying, that's the thing. If you're going to have anything, it's going to take time and effort and patience to go into it. I know we don't want to hear that. That's why we like, give it to me right now because I'm tired of waiting. And then being on hasty emotions, that's why we in such a big pile of, man, I'm going to yield back.
Yeah. Well, there's the crew is right there, the Muffet crew right there.
I'm trying to tell you, don't join. Don't join.
And there's a hybrid, and the hybrid sitting right in the middle of all though. Imagine that.
Don't join. I'm trying to tell you that they'll make you a superstar. That's what they are. All them Muppets sitting there, they superstars. They'll make you a superstar. But you're empty on the inside. Oh man, did I say that?
Yeah. That's why I say when you get out there and you thinking you doing something.
That might be too much. That might be too much.
And you get this guy right here. They come up there smiling with that devil look on his face. And he already know he's gonna get paid off your stupidity.
That's the one that got you publishing people. Did I say that?
Yeah. Yep. So you know what I'm saying. So you sit there and you listen to guys like Don Umar telling you that, you know what I'm saying, trying to tell you about white supremacy, and they are part of white supremacy, you know what I'm saying, and you hear him saying shit like that.
Than me. I'm as smart as hell. You're a little smarter than me. If you can't I just need clarity. If you can't beat them, join them. Yes. And I know them butter biscuits are good in the big house, ain't they? Yes, sir.
See, he say, I just want to hear you say it. If you can't beat them, join them. And he said, yes. And he said, because I know them butter biscuits in the big house, you know what I'm saying? Because he trying to get to his level as far as the money, man. He wants to get to where he at with the money. Because, you know what I'm saying? If I sell out as much as you, I get that. And he just having an open conversation right there.
Yep. That's why it's always good to
Y'all keep talking, huh? You keep talking, man, and you shut the fuck up, huh? Cause the next thing you don't know.
He said it's so hard to trust. I don't know who is truly real until they do something messed up.
All right. We can fix that right now.
Okay. Go ahead, real quick. I was gonna say something. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go. I'll come on.
Not to put my beliefs out there, but my tour said that a person is known by their actions. So you watch the actions, you hear what they have to say, you watch the actions. This is the fruit of their character, which is meant by, you know what I'm saying, you know a tree by its fruits. That's going to be the actions. That's going to always tell you, it's going to move always in this way because that's what it's going to produce. It can't deviate away from that.
Yep.
So instead of listening to it, watch the actions. Once you watch the actions, you're going to have your 2 + 2 is 4. You may feel a way about like, I don't want it to make that point, but that's on you then. I'm going to yield back.
Yeah. Because see, the thing is, like Russ said, you got to watch the actions because they're going to show signs. One thing about it, no matter what they say and what they do, they're going to show signs.
Got to.
Because when you start asking questions, you start talking to them, and you start saying certain things, and they start feeling some kind of way, this is what's going to happen right here.
Feelings, nothing more than feelings.
The feeling starts to come out.
Mm-hmm.
They start feeling hard. They start acting all emotional, just like Reefer said, just like a woman.
Man, it's the thing about it, like I say, in the bring down the action to an even a simpler level. If a person say, I'm going to work to be a fireman, you shouldn't be seeing them on the corner every day, you know what I'm saying, talking about, I'm drinking today. Well, you supposed to be at the firehouse. That's what I mean by actions.
Mm-hmm.
It dictates exactly what they're going to tell you, I'm this. So whatever they tell you, their actions have to line up to that consistently. There ain't no deviation away from it. It's consistent.
Yeah.
Just like somebody that bangs, that's going to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
That's the fruit. That's the character.
Yep.
It ain't going to deviate away from that. That's how you have to look at everything in life. No difference. The devil just like to wrap up things in different packages, but it's the same damn product. Straight like that.
Yep. Straight real talk right there, bro. Real talk. Real talk. You know, that's the thing that needs to be talked about and basically acknowledged, you know what I'm saying? Because like I say, it's a lot out here that's being shown to us all day, every day, but we try to act like we don't see what's going on. You know, I mean, you know, even to the fact where you got folks taking up for the fuck shit. You know what I'm saying? They see stupid shit going on. You're like, nah, just let them keep doing what they're doing. You like, man, they don't need you doing that shit. No, it's all good. It's all good. You know what I'm saying? And then when you sit up there and the shit start to reflect you, then that's when you want to stop. And I'll give you a prime example. It's just like that truck driver that killed them folks in Texas, down here in Texas, in Austin that time. That truck driver got his way into the doors with the help of the United States government.
Yeah.
Because we literally let the government take on the control of our daily lives to say, this is what y'all need to do, which is very demonic, because they don't tell you nothing that's going to help you or your family out. That's going to be legit. It's always going to be some fuck shit because they don't want you to have a logical mind. They want you to have an emotional feeling mind. And when you have an emotional mindset, you fall for anything that they tell you. And see, that's why it's so many of these goddamn foreigners out here driving trucks. They never drove 18-wheeler in their life until they came here. And they come here, they don't have no kind of experience. They don't know how safe it is to drive that damn truck. And they get out here and fuck shit up, kill somebody, and they ass still alive, and they say some silly shit like this dude right here said back here.
Traffic was there, bro. Like, there's no way it should have been. I'm a trucker myself, bro. You're not supposed to. You were going too fast. You
know there's 2 people dead over there? And possibly 2 more? Possibly 4? They're dead. They're dead. Yes, dead.
He don't even understand. He didn't kill 5 people. And he still don't. He dead. He don't even know what dead is. He don't even know what dead is.
Yeah, he playing like he don't understand. That's what it is. You know exactly what's going on.
In so many ways, he probably don't.
You're not gonna get through cussing. We can't understand what you're saying.
He said, Dr. Umar been talking about this school for 13 years. Yeah, of course. I mean, the thing is, that's the thing that's the thing that hurts the most, because when Dr. Umar was talking about that school, Dr. Umar literally said that he was gonna have that school up back here in 2021 or some shit like that. And then he looked up, he said that some contractors took his money and it fucked up everything. He could have then had his HVAC system or some sort of been up and all this old shit. So this dude here, see, the thing is, like, that's why it's so good to know history. That's why it's always good to go back to at least 50 or 60 years from now and see what folks used to say about how they looked at black folks when they decide to look for the black messiah in our communities. It was a guy named J. Edgar Hoover, who was the founder of the FBI, said that the worst thing that could ever happen in the United States is black unity. He meant that shit because he knew that if we was to ever uprise, that America would be in trouble, and that they was trying. And he said, if we ever get a black messiah, they're gonna be the one that create these black messiahs. And Dr. Umar is one of them.
Yeah, that's definitely straight math there.
Because see, the thing is, hey, babe, look at you. She crazy. Tell Ronnie Jr. I guess I'll get a milkshake. I guess I'll trust my instincts. Anyway, well, yeah. See, the thing is, Dr. Umar, he sit up there and talks about white supremacy. He talked all that good talk. But at the same time, at one time, he was talking about black women need to get their shit together until they came and knock on his door and told don't say that shit no more. He started talking about black men need to get their shit together. They're like, okay, that's it right there, bro. That's the way. That's how you're supposed to do it. So that let he knew right then and there he was an agent. And then he gonna talk about some damn regular darling. Regular, I don't know damn Oreo. Then he gonna say that black men need to get their shit together, you know what I'm saying, because it's too many young black boys out here committing crimes. And I'm like, dude, you were just a couple of months ago talking about how the CIA and the FBI played a role in dividing up the black homes and all this old shit. Now all of a sudden it's our fault now, huh? Okay.
You know what I find crazy?
What's that?
What I find crazy, in 2 distinct interviews with Dr. Umar by himself and Charles Weiss by himself on 2 different separate occasions with them talking, I heard them both saying in the interview that they were given that they had FBI partners. I'm like, that's interesting.
Caramel, darling, caramel. Well, I want to, you know what, bro? Fuck it. We finna go off topic because, you know, we already did the talk on you know, Earth, Wind, and Fire. Let's go into this little situation right quick for rest of part of the podcast. Let's do the Charleston White versus Dr. Umar. How about that? Dr. Umar. Okay, here's this video here. Let's see. Hold on, let's hear what he has to say. Yeah, now. Let's see what he had to say about why he wouldn't do a video, Dr. Umar wouldn't do a video with him. And he wouldn't do no, you know, because he was like, he didn't want to do nothing with the fucking something he said. Well, check that out.
You definitely one of the more prominent figures, you know,
Fair
on the
use
internet.
to
And
But I don't want to be though, homie. I want to be a bullshit nigga. I want to have my flaws.
you got like a double-sided personality.
That's why I do it.
Yeah.
Because I don't. They didn't make Dr. King normal for us, homie. For us to really understand him and admire him in the aspect of who he was as a man. I'm gonna do wrong. I'm gonna make mistakes, but I ain't doing wrong to people. We have to allow our leaders to make mistakes.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to be a leader. That's why sometimes I do some of the most craziest shit because I don't want to be praised. I got flaws because I don't want to be put on a pedestal. Don't make me the God. I'm a bullshit nigga. And nigga, out of 365 days, I don't want to be righteous all 365 days. I want some bullshit days in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, nigga,
Right.
I want to play trick. Maybe 10 days after a year where I'm somewhere playing trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, nigga, I want to be a low down dirty motherfucker where I run away from home maybe 2 days. Yeah. But we can't confess that as a man.
Yeah.
Nigga, I want to tell my woman, shut up. No, I don't like that shit. I want to ignore the kids sometimes. I want to go outside, nigga, and bullshit with the fellas and not do nothing sometimes and not go in the house and do shit and don't answer the phone. I want to do that, and that's okay. But the world will say we can't do that. I got to be righteous. I got to be the righteous leader. Well, you the community activist. You ain't got no business in the strip club. Says who? Nigga, I like pussy. Yeah, I like pussy. You married. So you watch porn. When your woman leave, you watch porn. I don't watch porn. I go watch them hoes in real life. Well, I at least got action and touching it. And yeah, nigga, you touching you. If nothing else, I can get a lap dance and calm in my britches. Nigga, you touching you. So different stroke for different folks. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, homie. So I want to be a man. I want to be a regular man with flaws. Nah, man. So I don't want to be perfect. So that's why I switch up and do this. Because I'm not the same all the time. I'm not the same every day. Some days, nigga, I don't feel like praying. Some days I don't pray over my food. Fuck praying. I'm for to eat. Right. Don't even think to pray. Some days I think to pray. Yeah. So
how do you deal with being misunderstood?
I don't know I'm misunderstood. I think the world is misunderstood. I think the world got the problem. Most crazy people don't know they crazy. They think the world crazy. That's me. I don't know I'm misunderstood, nigga. Because I'm playing. I don't think because I'm playing. I'm
he playing.
Misunderstood.
Yeah,
my little mama them say I'm a narcissistic, egotistical mother. I thought narcissism was a good trait. When I read the definition, narcissism seemed like a good trait. All leaders and champions and superstars have a bit of narcissism to them.
Okay.
That's a great trait to have when you're great.
What's a narcissist again?
A nigga that think highly of themselves.
Okay.
And hardly see. Most people say they can't see no wrong and they wrong, but see wrong in everybody else's. That's the average person. That's the average person. You and your woman arguing, she ain't gonna never see herself as being wrong. You gonna hardly ever see yourself as being wrong unless you get caught cheating. Yeah, baby, you caught me. But long as she ain't gonna never say, baby, I'm wrong for just fucking with you.
Right.
Baby, I'm wrong for having an attitude for nothing because I had a dream you were messing with somebody and it was just a dream, but the dream's still real. Baby, I had a dream you was messing with somebody. Well, why can't you have a dream we won some money? Why all your intuition got to be bad?
Right.
So that's everybody's concept because man justifies their own wrong. That's why they can do wrong. They'll justify it to themselves. And most people can't look at themselves and say, I'm wrong, especially if it hurt.
Yeah. In one of our most recent interviews on DJU TV, we interviewed Dr. Umar Johnson. And the fans, they're interested in like a podcast featuring both yourself and Dr. Umar Johnson. I heard y'all talk about it on the Danzig Project.
Yeah,
So
they tried to make it happen.
Right. So I asked Dr. Umar about it, you know, and he told us why he, you know, respectively declined.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, well, he told us, you know, he felt like, you know, you've made some disrespectful comments toward himself before. So, you know,
I'm not going to take what I bring to the table and sensationalize it and trivialize it by bringing this person on set who's liable to say anything. You understand? I'm not going to sit there and you come crooked out your mouth, which he's known to do. That's just going to cause conflict. All for what? So you can get views and likes and clicks and snaps. I'm not into that shit. You see what I'm saying? Right. Not to mention, he's made several repeated disrespectful comments about me. Okay. So you want me to sit down with somebody who don't know me and has disrespected me plenty of time?
Reaver then made it in, y'all. Shout out to Reaver. Brother Reaper then made it in the house. What's happening, bro? Finally made it in.
Who the fuck you think I am?
Reaper gonna give you a commentary on these two fuck boys. I know you got something to say about these two sweethearts.
Yeah, I ain't did nothing to say the nigga was begging for the school. See, it's a difference, homie. When your leader stand before you and say, man, I'm trying to help y'all. I want to help y'all. I'm gonna help y'all. And this is what I'm gonna do. And they don't never ask y'all for nothing and go to work. That was me, homie. I've never came to my people and said, hey, y'all, I need donations for backpacks. What I would do is I would tell a lie and make a lie come true. Say, y'all, I'm having backpack supply giveaway down at the Classy Lady at such and such time. Now I might got $300. That might at least give me 25, 50 backpacks. My nigga Trey Porter go bring 100 more. The mother nigga go bring some. Them niggas from the south side, fashion go bring me 500.
Not because you asked, but you didn't already.
I did it.
Right.
This is what I'm saying.
You made the initiative.
This is what I'm saying I'm doing. I'm not.
That dude there, he's irritating.
He both done.
I mean, irritating like a motherfucker, dude. Yeah, he's irritating dude though. And he's very entertaining to a certain extent. I don't find him very entertaining. I ain't gonna lie. I listen to Tyreek Nasheed before I listen to that goof ass. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I mean, at least Tyreek let you know what a tether is. That motherfucker, you know, Charleston White. I seen a video where he had did that little shit down here back here 30-something years ago, and he literally gave the dude the murder weapon. You knew right then that they were gonna use his ass. Or they were like, "Hey, little boy, what you'll do? You'll do anything for a client at war. We'll set you up on some real shit." He said, "Hell yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it." Reaper said, "Yeah, he's a plant. Police and informant. Yeah, of course. No doubt about it. Yeah, he's a straight up clown. Yeah, all of them. Umar, like I said, all them guys are paid to keep the masses deaf, dumb, and blind as much as possible because that's how that's tied up. Because, like I said, they said if they ever have a black messiah, they're gonna be the one that created one. Because see, the thing was, we had Dr. Khalid Muhammad back here, and you see that what they did with him. They got him to fuck about it quick. You know what I'm saying? Because he was saying some shit. He wasn't backing down for nothing. He didn't give a damn what they thought and what they said. See, Dr. Umar on that level, what they came out on his door, and then he started talking about black men, and they were like, "Okay, now you do, now you work, now you're cooking with gas, there, boy. You're doing what we want you to do." Yeah. He showed it. He said, "Yeah, Charlton White said it was he do this shit for entertainment. He don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Dr. Khalid Muhammad didn't play. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I want to show before we get the close out. I need to show the video on Dr. Khalid. Show you what kind of man he was back in the day.
Yeah, go ahead with that.
Matter of fact, we show the video where the video was Donahue.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, because he had Donahue head all over the damn place.
You want to hear it?
Donahue was looking crazy as hell.
Man, I want to hear it.
Here you go. By fair use, YouTube.
Male who shot 6 people on the Long Island train. Mr. Muhammad speaks.
Where they set black inmates up in these jails and penitentiaries, and in particular there in Nassau County, and pulled all the black officers out and the black inmates so they could jump on Brother Colin Ferguson because they were mad with him for catching the Long Island train and killing all them white folks. I love Colin Ferguson. I have no official position, so I can say I love him.
You love a man who randomly killed 6 people on a commuter train?
I love Colin Ferguson just as much as the masses of white Americans love General Schwarzkopf, General Westmoreland, General Patton, General MacArthur, and Eisenhower. America awards her killers, and they get ribbons and stripes and bars. I'm sensitive to the pain and suffering of the loss of life on that train, but I'm one of the rebellious slaves. And so when black people stand up out of pain and suffering and frustration, I understand after 500 years.
You also, you talk about the response of some African Americans to, for example, the book which attempts to prove that in the slave trade. I'd be happy to let them see that. You talk about when white folks can't defeat you, you said in your speech at Kane, they'll always find some Negro, some boot-licking, butt-licking, buck-dancing, bamboozle, half-baked, half-fried, sissified, punkified, pasteurized, homogenized nigger that they can trot out in front of you.
I noticed he said the word nigger. He had to get that
like
out.
that.
Nigger.
Yeah, he cleaned his teeth with that one.
Woo! Shit. He had to say that. I mean, that shit was tingling in his heart.
Yeah, that way he felt about it. He was talking right then. That's why he came out with it at the end of it. You know what I'm saying? It was powerful at the end, nigga.
Yeah, you see how Dr. Carter looking at his ass.
Yeah. So he said, I knew I was gonna get it out you.
Mm-hmm.
I would ask you, Mr. Muhammad, is Jesse Jackson a boot-licking, homogenized nigger?
To the best of his ability, I believe he tries every day to do that.
Here you are mocking Jesse Jackson at a speech. I believe this is Howard University.
That's one of their bootlickers they like.
Oh, bootlicking, buck dancing, scratching, shuffling, messy Jesse Jackson. And keep. I am a somebody. I am a somebody. I keep hope alive. I am a somebody. I don't rightly know who the hell I am, but I am somebody.
Yeah.
Now look how you look. Like, yeah, I'm confident in this shit. What you gonna
Gabby.
I'm confident in what I said. Now what? What you gonna do about it?
Are you an entertainer or are you a committed person to black people?
I'm so glad you asked that question. I believe that the liberation and salvation of the black nation must be brought about by black people gaining a thorough knowledge of self after our 500 to 6,000 year Holocaust, where we have lost over 600 million. And so I believe that that education process must be a process of two steps: inspiration and information. So I seriously give information, but black people are a people of rhythm and spirit. So I also give inspiration.
From your speech at Kane College in 1960, Chief Luthuli, the head of the ANC, received a Nobel Peace Prize. You reported to your audience, reminded them, for nonviolent struggle. Just like Mandela just received it with F.W. de Klerk. How could you stand with your oppressor and your enemy and receive the Nobel Prize for nonviolent struggle? You have, you do not support then Nelson Mandela's strategy in the struggle to free black people in South Africa?
Let us first of all be very clear here, Phil. Nelson Mandela is my brother.
So
he
is
is a
Jesse
member
Jackson.
of the family, and so is Jesse, and Jesse is a very brilliant man. We just want him to return home and stop being used by the enemy and the oppressor against his people. Now back to Brother Nelson Mandela. And certainly we can never mention Nelson without mentioning Winnie Mandela. But Nelson Mandela's attempt at a multiracial government in South Africa after the murder of men, women, children, and babies, and the rape of South Africa, a criminal settler colony that has been established like Israel there in that part of the world. I cannot go along with one man, one vote. Let me say why. If someone broke into your home, Mr. Donahue, and actually bomb rushed your home, and Black Boot stomped your door down, and came in and robbed and raped everyone in the household, and was able to take the wealth of your home and parlay it into an empire. This is an invader. This is an intruder. This is a murderer. This is a burglar. This is a criminal. So you have no responsibility to share your home with them after they broke in and committed the crimes that they did.
You want, you said about South Africa, we give him, that is to say white people, 24 hours to get out of town by sundown. That's all. If you won't get out of town by sundown, we'll kill every white that ain't right that's in sight in South Africa. We kill the women, we kill the children, we kill the babies, we kill the blind, we kill the cripple, we kill them all. We kill the faggot, we kill the lesbian, we kill them all. You say, why kill the babies in South Africa? Because they're going to grow up and oppress our babies, so we kill the babies. Are you seriously presenting yourself as a man interested in the future of your people with this kind of rhetoric?
I'm just as interested in the freedom of my people as I am in the self-determination or the Kujichagulia, self-development, them being self-defining, self-respecting, and self-defending. If the white man has killed millions of our people, and you cannot deny the undeniable and indisputable and irrefutable truth, fact, proof, and history of their bloodshed there in South Africa. I said it would be merciful if they would leave. I don't agree with a government, a sham government. No man walks out of prison after 27 years and becomes the president unless there's a script and a plan behind the scenes to remove the economic sanctions from whites in South Africa, but no real plan for redistribution of the wealth. The Oppenheimers, the De Beers, and others there sucking the blood of our people. So I said, be merciful. Give them a period of time. Truman gave the Japanese a period of time, but when they didn't comply, he dropped the bomb on men, women, children, and babies.
Of the Jews out. Think about it, what he just said.
Ain't like that.
I was trying to get the young lady on the podcast earlier today, to understand when she said, no, we don't need no reparations. And these other nations got reparations, and how, you know, these motherfuckers just went around blowing up and tearing up folks' shit. See, that's the thing about historical matter. You need to know the whole concepts of history before you start running your damn mouth. You know what I'm saying? But this clip this part right here, I had to fast forward because I want you to hear what this Caucasian guy had to say. And it was funny as hell because he ate his ass up. Check this out. Here you go.
Since 1870, they used it against other people, but it doesn't work against people in Northeast Africa. Thank you.
Beautiful. Sir, I did it. That's just something beautiful. I can't believe exactly what I'm hearing. We went to war in World War II to fight for the freedom of speech. We didn't fight for freedom of speech of hatred. Many of our members, I'm the National Commander of Jewish War Veterans, and over.
Now look at his face, because you already know he ready to win on his ass. Look how you look.
I feel it. I'll pack him up. I definitely don't mind.
No, watch this. Here you go. Watch this.
Where 50,000 of our men died. They're fighting for your right to free speech here now. I don't understand why you come out with such hatred.
Phil, excuse me, Phil.
Mr. Muhammad. Sir.
You make me sick to my stomach with that. Because at the same time that you were fighting, you were not fighting for the freedom and independence of black people. Soldiers, black soldiers in segregated companies lost their lives on foreign soil there, but would have to come back and fight just to get a bite to eat and not have to go to the toilet on the side of the road somewhere in the bushes. So you're nothing but hypocrites, and you won't pull that small time stuff over on me.
All I see was this right here. Oh, Dr. Carter got rest. He did that.
That's why they ain't like him.
Reba said, it's all our, we can't steal, they stole our things in history. Yeah. Oh yeah. They take our stuff and literally bank off of it, basically. Yeah. Oh yeah, T-Fam, bro, he was on code for real. He wasn't playing.
No.
And the thing is, when you have a black man that stand on code like that, he's a threat by himself. And he's just only one man. Just imagine if the whole fucking Nation of Islam was on that same level. They would ready to shut the nation down. Because
how come they ain't doing it? Oh, never mind.
That's why I said we ain't gonna go there. We're gonna leave that there.
Worry about it. Did I say too much?
Because it is, this was the 90s. That 90, I want to say between 94 and 95 on the Phil Donahue show. And the thing was, around that time, they were looking to basically change our society within, starting with hip hop music around that time. Mm-hmm. And Dr. Khaled was speaking on that too. So when he started really speaking on the hip hop culture changing, they really had to get rid of him then. Yeah. They tried to act civil, but they they stole everything. Yeah, damn, they did. They sure the hell did. And they still in there.
You're gonna keep doing it.
Yeah. That's why you got folks out here, them tellers, you got the Divine Nine, you got all these motherfuckers out here bootlicking, out here telling lies, false narratives on social media, talking about we need to stop asking for reparation. That ain't nothing but a handout and all this other shit. But I'm saying to myself, hell, they had their handout robbing and stealing and killing our situation. Getting what they want. I guarantee you, why you ain't telling them to stop doing what they doing?
Because she worked for him. She's a plan.
Yes, she played for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's a plan.
Yeah, she's scared. Would you say, bro? She's scared, huh?
And she working for them people, bro. That's what's going on with that. She working with them people.
She don't want Henry Kane to roll up on her.
Lost, sweetheart? Sweetheart, are you afraid, honey? Are you afraid, honey?
That's what happened every time they hear what's going on with us. They get afraid.
Yeah.
That's exactly. They get afraid.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Reed said, give us back America because it's ours. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Everything. The whole planet. Basically. That's why. They know it. That's the reason why they try to do their best to get us out of here. Because they know we know what's up. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, a lot of us don't know, and then a lot of us act like we don't know. That's why I couldn't be on these panels and start having no conversation, especially with no black woman that's bitter and sitting around there trying to tell me about her educational field. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Because the thing is, like Reef was saying, we can get little Pedro to get out here that ain't doing nothing but selling flowers or oranges on the side of the damn freeway off ramp. That'll put your ass to shame with your little bullshit ass degree. Yeah. Huh? What you say?
I said, yeah, it happens.
Yeah. You tell her, I got my bachelor's and master's degree, and I can do this and do that. I'm like, girl, you ain't nothing but an educated fool in the educated school. You don't know nothing. All you know is that damn degree. But when it come down to getting out here and getting you a man, you seem to have a big problem with that. You don't know how to do that, but you know how to get a degree. What they do? And it don't get you very far. But you being a servant, like my brother said, you being submissive to your employer instead of your man. But
be like that.
Huh?
Yeah, be like that.
It's all good though. That's why when they start talking to me, I just let them say what they had to say. But at the end of the day, I'm just like the little man say right here.
A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit.
Like he said, even Reaper said, little Pedro don't have a degree in nothing, but he's a businessman and make money long as train smoke. You got that right. I'm talking about selling fruit and fruits and flowers on the side of the damn freeway, and you look up, this motherfucker got a stacks of money. Him and his old lady, they about to get ready to buy a building, buy more buildings, while you sitting up there still trying to get it together at Mr. Charlie's corporation. Go get me. What did they tell her, bro? Go get us some coffee.
Yeah.
And get us a couple of donuts, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, extra cream.
You think you doing something. He ain't doing nothing but just fetch your ass out there like you Lassie. You know, the TV show Lassie, the dog. Roof.
Full submission.
Yeah, bro. Well, we're gonna go ahead and end this whole podcast, bro, because we went in 2 hours and 35 minutes in the paint. You know what I'm saying? I know Reaper got in here kind of late, but bro, when you get a chance, you go back. We did the Earth, Wind, and Fire thing first first part of the show. We just went into topic because we do that every now and again. Just like you do on your podcast, you already know. We go get to talking on the subject, then we go into other things. Yeah, we do that over here too, every now and again. You know, but shout out to you, you know what I'm saying, T-Fam, J Wright, you know, the whole Reaper family, you know what I'm saying, everybody on TikTok, you know what I'm saying, and Twitch TV as well as Facebook, because we streaming on all 4 goddamn, you know what I'm saying, media outlets, you know what I'm saying. Hopefully everything turns out okay. Hope they don't give me no damn copyright strike, because I know we've been playing other folks shit, but you know, hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, appreciate T-Fam, you know what I'm saying? Well, you
For
know,
sure, for sure.
you know, this is what we do. We didn't went out to we didn't did like over 300 some videos so far. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can check us out. We got a library, you know what I'm saying? Been doing this thing since 20, you know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
Yeah. Yeah. He said appreciate it though, Reek. You know what I'm saying? Hope we check on you tomorrow. I know you're gonna come up with a good old topic tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? I'm most likely try to call in, you know what I'm saying, you know. But anyway, bro, you got anything you want to lead the people before we get ready to step off here?
Study to show yourself approved, people.
Oh yeah, most definitely. You know what I'm saying? You know, don't believe the hype. Use common sense. You know what I'm saying? Because haters are going to hate on you regardless. That's just how it is.
They gotta do it.
You know, like Russ said, they got to do it. You know what I'm saying? They hurt, you know what I'm saying, when you know the truth. That's why, you know, you go outside the box and you think on your own logical mindset, yeah, you're gonna get hated on. Because they don't like you when you have your own mindset. When you're not a sheep and you're a shepherd, you know what I'm saying? They hate that. Yeah. You already know. For real. So, bro, we're gonna go ahead and get on down.
Yeah. I'm gonna get him saying something munch on right quick and then get in the tub, get ready for this work week. Everybody be cool.
Yeah, damn what I was gonna say. I guess we'll let's see, we'll do the Commodores the next go round.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, Lionel Richie's old band, you know what I'm saying? And we'll try we do that, man. We'll handle that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do that.
All right, bro.
All right, shalom, bro.
I'll put it on you later. All right, bro. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna conclude tonight's show. You know what I'm saying? Hope y'all enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? Much love, respect to you guys. You know what I'm saying? You know, catch us on the rebound. You know, we're gonna do it again. Hope we get a chance to do the Commodore show. You know what I'm saying? Well, this your boy Chaos. I'm out. Finna get ready to go on here and chill out with the fam. You know what I'm saying? Y'all easy, be safe, and don't do nothing I wouldn't do. Deuces.